Hey guys, how are you? What's going on? I know it's a little bit late, but I had someone in the comments was like, when are we going to get caught up? And I was like, okay, well, I guess tonight at like 10 o'clock. Um, so here I am. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. But yeah, let's get into it. Hey, Cool Gamer. Hey, Anisha. Hey, Tam. Hey, Bushes. Good evening. Okay, guys, I want to talk about two things. Let's get into the first one really quick because um, this was something that I actually, a channel that I watch. This person requests, does like FOIA requests, the Freedom of Information Act requests. And sis gets prison phone calls. That's her channel, which I thought was quite interesting. So we're going to go over to her channel real quick. We're going to skim through because um basically she has like 3 jailhouse phone calls from Shirley Strawberry's husband Ernesto. Girl, she got the calls and she's got more coming. So she posted this a couple days ago. I shared it on my community post over on Love Lies and Lacefronts. But yeah, let's get into it a little bit and see what is going on over here because sis got the goods, okay? And it's very telling. You know, we've heard basically Shirley we've maybe made some assumptions that Shirley is still with this guy. Shirley has not separated from him. And maybe these two are still, in communication with each other. And that may or may not be true. I don't have all of the details because Shirley seems to be quite closed mouth about this whole thing. So let's listen a little bit. When we get to the jailhouse phone call, I'll show a little bit more of the let's let's get into it a little bit so you can hear what's going on. Okay. Wait. Oops. Let me share the video first. Girl, I'm already like clicking the button and hadn't quite shared the video. Okay. All right, let's listen.
Phone calls going all the way back to March of this year. Today's video has a big update about Shirley Strawberry and her husband, Ernest Willaims, aka Ernesto, aka Nesto. Buckle up, I've got the jailhouse phone calls going all the way back to March of this year, and it looks like there might be trouble in paradise between Shirley and her husband. Stay tuned, the calls between Shirley and Ernesto are in this video. For those of you who might not know who Shirley is, well, you might know Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is a versatile entertainer, comedian, actor, author, and prominent figure in both television and radio. He initially rose to prominence through his sharp observational comedy and later became renowned for his insightful self help guidance, particularly in the realm of relationships. You may know him from The Family Feud or The Steve Harvey Morning Show. Shirley Strawberry has been in the broadcast biz for almost 40 years herself and is currently a co host on The Steve Harvey Morning Show. Her and Steve have worked together for the last 20 years, and on the show, they have a segment called The Strawberry Letter, where viewers write in for relationship advice from Steve and Shirley. Shirley supposedly met her current husband through Steve Harvey. They got engaged on the show with Steve's help, and Steve even walked Shirley down the aisle. Ernesto is Shirley's second husband. Here's the situation. Shirley Strawberry's husband, Ernesto Willaims, is facing some pretty serious charges, some of which include children. As you can see, this guy has a pretty long rap sheet. He and a co-conspirator, Erica King, were arrested for $1 million.
So she's obviously going through a pretty, high level summary of what's going on. Let's get to the calls because you guys, if you're here, you know what's been going on if you've been watching. I will drop the link to the complete video so you can check it out. But let's get to the calls, okay? Let's get to right about here.
Back to 2015. The security company was opened in 2021 and it dissolved in 2022. Now that everyone's up to speed, let's get to the goods. The first call is from March 7th and is between Shirley Strawberry and her husband, Ernesto.
Hello, this is a free call from
Nesto.
Nesto.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hello?
Hello.
How
Hold
you
on
doing?
1 second, please. Hold on. I'm good. Hold on. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I just got 5 minutes on a free phone call. So I just,
Oh, you do?
yeah.
He just got 5 minutes on a free phone call. This woman, girl, I wonder if she cut him off financially.
Let's know.
Okay.
I go to court Thursday. So say a prayer for me. And my lawyer just came saw me. So just gonna wait till Thursday and see what's gonna go down. So other than that, y'all doing okay?
Yeah, we're doing fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
I'm just leaving in God's hand and let him do what he do. That's all I
Okay.
can do. Yeah.
But you know, I always say a prayer for you. You do know that, right?
I do know that. You have some strong prayers too. So strong.
Well, good. I'm glad they're working.
Yeah, they're
On
working. They're
someone's
working.
behalf.
They're working.
That's good.
I'm just
Okay.
being positive and focused. So I just want to let you know that. Yeah, I want you to love you very much. And very happy that you got some coming till I get there.
Yeah, Dan came and got the truck.
Yeah, you told me.
Oh, he did? Okay.
No, you told me. You told me.
No, I told you he was going to get the truck. He actually went and got it. He didn't get it the day he said he was going to get it. He got it a couple of days later because he didn't have a ride. You know, he had to wait till he got a ride. Because something about his, yeah.
I got it. I understand. So he got a ride now.
Yeah, he had a ride and he got the truck.
Oh, okay.
Probably his girlfriend or something.
Yeah. Because she just probably she's trying to recover after what happened to her. So.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't meet her, but I guess I didn't meet her.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. I guess she was a nice girl.
Okay. Well, that's all I want to say over the phone. Hey,
Debbie said, hey. He said, hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm still hanging
in. He said he's good. He's hanging in there. Well, good, honey. That's good. She said, love you.
Okay, love you too. Hey, tell her
He
hang
said,
on
love
in
you
there
too.
with her bestie.
He said, hang on in there with your bestie. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I love you.
All right, love.
I'll call you Thursday.
Okay. All right. All right. Love you too. Bye.
Remember this.
Okay, let's talk about that. So he was calling her, he got a free 5-minute phone call. So the next call I think is going to be he's asking her for some money to re-up on his books, meaning he needs money in jail, right? He's in jail. Girl, he doesn't sound like he's in his 50s, does he? But some people are down bad. Like they're just I could only imagine what being in jail is like. I'm sure it's absolutely miserable. Unless that's just kind of like your thing, but I cannot imagine who is thriving in jail. Um but yeah, the next call gets a little more awkward. It does sound like she is like being a little nicey. So I don't know if he knows, it just seems like there's a lot to this story. I know we've been talking about this since it kind of, came to our awareness, but it just seems like what they weren't talking about, like when she was talking about the truck, what's up with the truck? And then so and so came to pick it up. And then she just wanted to clarify what she told him. No, I told you this, that, and the third. And then he's just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, that's all I want to talk about on the phone. You know what I mean? Because they know these calls are monitored. But I'm sure what they're not planning on is that somebody is requesting these calls, and that these calls are definitely going to start, you know what I mean? Like these calls are going to start hitting the internet because like I said, sis who has this channel, phone calls from prison, requested a bunch more phone calls, and she's going to be posting up some more of them pretty soon. So I mean, it's pretty interesting. So let's get over to the next call, okay? Let's get over here. Okay, right here. Let's get into
This
it.
call was made on April 14th.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Okay, say it. I got
60 seconds.
You have 1 minute remaining.
So you didn't put it in there yet?
Put what in there yet?
You got to put the money on the books, on the phone.
No, she has to ask me. You have to talk this out.
Oh, I
You have
didn't
to
know
talk
that.
this out.
Okay.
I didn't either. Yeah. So
Okay.
you have to talk this out, call back, and call back. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. What y'all eat for breakfast over there?
I'm drinking some tea, and I ate some little, like tea cookies, and Debbie's eating some chicken and rice.
Oh, chicken and rice this time of night? This time of morning?
You eat eggs at night.
You know what? That's true. Thank you. You sure right. I sure miss some pancakes too.
Thank you for using Global Telling.
As of right now, this is the last time Shirley has talked to Ernesto. I have more calls coming to verify his claim, but until then,
boy, you should have had a different conversation than arguing over what y'all eating. It seems like absence is definitely not making the heart grow fonder. And obviously the more charges that rack up with whatever's going on, but word on the street was that she was taking his side, and that there was some distance growing between her and her daughter. But girl, I don't know. I mean, we don't know anything. To me, this is kind of like a really interesting story because number one, we're not hearing anything about it in like celebrity news. And I feel partially it's because of Steve Harvey, because people love him, and he must have an excellent PR team. And it's just not, even though it's not him, but she works for him. Okay. And there was also, which you're going to hear in a little bit, that, and I think this is one of the phone calls she's going to be getting. It's not on here, but the phone call where they had the conversation regarding going to Dubai, that allegedly she would be able to arrange safe harbor for him in Dubai, and then also the side chick phone calls when he was trying to get to Florida. If and when he got out, he was going to either try to get to Florida and maybe even get to Dubai and stay at Shirley's boss's house. So who's her boss that has a house in Dubai? Okay, so the next phone call, he's going to be talking to a friend, and I guess he is in need of money for his books. And the guy is questioning and is just kind of like, why is she being so cheap? Okay, that's the next conversation. He's kind of like, hey man, watch it, like kind of don't speak on my wife. Let's see.
and here's more calls that will help explain why she just might be finished with Ernesto. The next call is between Ernesto and one of his friends on May 16th. He informs Ernesto that old girl has called old girl in California and told her everything. I can only assume that the woman in California is Shirley Strawberry.
So old girl may have been the woman from Florida, called Shirley and told her about how he has been fooling around, because we all have heard that Ernesto had 1 to 2 different side chicks that he was running his games with, and quite possibly Shirley was not aware what was going on. Whether she was or wasn't, I think she's becoming aware now, but maybe she's just being very careful how she treats this situation, as I'm sure she doesn't want to be under investigation. But considering how much this man has going on and that they are legally married, I don't think Shirley can avoid being investigated at any which way. She will be investigated because they're married, and whatever he was doing, they're going to just make sure she wasn't doing anything with it too, I would imagine.
Makes sense because Shirley has not spoken to Ernesto since April 14th.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Shit, I'm trying to make it, man. Oh, I told you, old girl called old girl in California and told her everything.
Okay, yeah, I got that part, but don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. I got you.
Yeah.
This next clip is from May 29th, and you'll hear Ernesto.
Damn. So old girl called old girl in California and told her everything. And he basically says, don't talk about that. What do you think that was? Okay. Well, apparently not. They're apparently not. Um, there's a bunch of old time players out here, but he was involved in a bunch of mess, girl.
And a friend talk about how Shirley wants to sell the truck. I believe the truck they're talking about is either a box truck or an 18-wheeler that Ernesto owns and used for his mobile barber shop. It sounds like Ernesto isn't really cool with it, as you'll hear.
Yeah, chilling. Wife is just come in today and said she want to sell the truck.
Say, I want to sell it.
Said she want to sell it.
Oh, she wants to sell it. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fine. She probably got somebody here. But that's fine. I mean, I don't really get mad no more by the way she going now. So.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I can't control nobody. I'm still sitting in here. Yeah, that's my first time hearing about that. But I'll call and see what she talking about.
Yes, no, she been said she wanted to get rid of it, but she just called and said something to me after a couple of months. She just said something today.
Yeah. She probably just feeling some kind of way. Nobody called, checked on her, and all that.
So she needs some money.
Shoot, that ain't gonna put nothing in your pocket.
So this is another reason.
Okay, so look, I don't know how aware Shirley is living, but if she's having to manage storage of a box truck and she either knows she's not going to ever be back with this man or he's not going to be seeing the light of day anytime soon, and or he's pretty much going to be out of business, yeah, I would probably be trying to liquidate too, especially if I have to pay expenses and things like that, or even pay on his debt. So who knows what she got left with now that he's in jail and can't pay any of his own bills, probably left her with a bunch of mess. And also he's got legal trouble.
And why I think Shirley might be moving on since she's wanting to sell Ernesto's truck. I have a funny feeling that she knew he would not be okay with it. The next call is from May 30th of this year, and you will hear Ernesto is becoming concerned that Shirley is not responding to his calls. Remember, this call you're about to hear is one day after the last call you just heard.
Did you call Shirley and see what's going on with her? She's not picking that phone up. I answered the text, so something must be wrong with her. You hear me?
To the last call you just heard.
Did you call Shirley and see what's going on with her? She's not picking that phone up.
Call Shirley, see what's going. It sounds like he been drinking like some damn Ripple or something. He said, "Call Shirley and see what's going on. She's not picking up."
I answered the text, so something must be wrong with her.
She probably got to look at that rap sheet from Cobb County and Fulton and DeKalb, all those charges that you have. I mean, he's got about 20 charges.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You say you talked to her yesterday. I don't know why she ain't picking the phone up.
Yeah, I don't know what she got going on. She thought she was outside yesterday when she called. I need to add some money on this phone.
Yeah. Just send me the old girl. She'll set it up for you.
I don't know why she be acting cheap as hell.
Man, come on now.
What you mean, come on now? I sent her the money. Acting like, should be weird.
Okay, sir. Yeah, just check on, see what's going on. Till I've been trying to text you and text her back or call. So I've been calling her yesterday. She ain't answered the phone. I called today. She ain't answered. So something ain't right. She ain't got a phone or something.
So it sounds like Shirley was made aware of Ernesto's doings on around May 16th, according to the calls we just heard. She hasn't spoken to him since April 14th, all the way up to June 20th. That's a 2-month hiatus. As you heard, Ernesto can't seem to figure out why Shirley isn't answering his calls. Remember, I have more calls coming from July of this year, so I will make another video update to let you guys know if she still is ghosting him. I also have calls coming from all the way back to November of 2022, so be on the lookout.
Those are the ones I want to hear.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so you don't miss those updates. Here's another little tidbit of information I found interesting of how Ernesto is basically bragging that an undisclosed donor paid his $800,000 bond. Although that bond never had to be paid because he's still in jail, you'll also hear that Shirley and her friend were going to put up their house as collateral for the bond, but they didn't have to do that because of the undisclosed donor. Here is the clip from that phone call.
Who do you think undisclosed donor has $800,000 to put up for a bond? Shirley was allegedly going to put up her house, but didn't have to because the undisclosed donor pledged to do it. But because he's still caught up in limbo between jail and getting bond, it hasn't been paid yet because he still has pending investigation and they're still holding him.
Call.
What's up, player?
What's up, Bill?
Yeah, everything good with you?
Hey, man, just moving and grooving, trying to keep this shit from piling up on me.
Yeah. So I'm just moving, that's it, just sitting here thinking what the fuck I'm doing, and when I get out, that's it. But I always get out in a good tune, so I'm looking at April going to be a pretty good month. If not, I'll be sitting this bitch to goddamn at least June. But my mindset is I'm straight, and Shirley got the place. I know it's going to be booming. I already know that. So at least I got somewhere to go when I get up out of here. I ain't got them frog dresses these niggas got.
Yeah, that shit look nice.
Yeah, I know it is. She going to move fast. And what I didn't know is that if I did make bond, I didn't have to worry about the bond because Dre, I didn't tell Shirley, but Dre's going to put his property up. And then the lawyer came and told me that I didn't have to worry about that because it was already paid for from undisclosed donor.
Yeah.
What's so key about an undisclosed donor? Who do you think is the undisclosed donor who's going to pay $800,000?
Yeah. So, but anyway, long story short, I'm just chilling. That's all I can do. But it's going to work in my favor. It always does.
Could the undisclosed donor be Steve Harvey? I mean, I'm
Girl,
not trying to throw shade at
yes.
him, but who else does Ernesto know with that kind of cash? We know it isn't Shirley after hearing the call about how she was just going to put up her house. Of course, I'm just speculating that it could be Steve. Maybe Ernesto has a rich sugar mama that we don't know about, but I seriously doubt it. In the end, it looks and sounds like Shirley Strawberry got caught up in a big mess that Ernesto created. Since she has seemingly cut communications with him, she may have chosen to just move on. But I will definitely let you know if she hasn't, since I have July's calls on the way. I'm guessing Shirley would love to use a rewind button to before she even met Ernesto. But hey, haven't we all wished for a rewind at least one point in our lives? Or she could be standing by her man. Only time will tell. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for
Look, she could have filed for divorce by now. So I almost feel like I don't think she's ready to move on yet, just to be honest. I think that just like kind of the woman who is married to Rex Herman, the guy who's accused to be the Long Island serial killer, um, what was it, like a week after he was arrested, maybe or less, Sis came out immediately and started to sever herself from him financially, everything, because she doesn't want to be responsible. And if Shirley were smart, based on the damages and any perceived income she might have or property that she may have that is considered community property, she might want to separate herself from him as soon as possible, because if people start suing Ernesto for damages and she's still his wife, I mean, she could be responsible. She might want to get herself severed from him as soon as possible. But, I guess that's going to be on her. There's no way in hell that I'm putting my neck on the line by. Okay. Well, they said undisclosed donor, so I don't know who that is. But yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. So we're going to pivot, but we're still kind of going to be in the Atlanta area. This subject comes up a lot because whenever we talk Real Housewives, this is one of like the topics that I always kind of that gets to me with Kandi. So Kandi finally spoke on the situation with Phaedra. on Speak On It. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen this or not, but I thought that this conversation was pretty interesting. So let's listen to it a little bit and then stop in between kind of, reaction. Because I just thought that this was kind of like Candy's still mad, but I get why she's mad. I know that there was the whole dungeon thing and Phaedra accused her of a crime basically, but and it's not even a but. On the flip side, let me say it like that, you know, maybe Phaedra's mad too because her and Candy were really good friends for a long time. Because Phaedra was friends with Tiny, and Phaedra also had a really tight relationship with Toya, Little Wayne's baby mom, right? And if you guys remember watching Tiny and Toya when they had a reality show back in the day, Phaedra would show up on that every now and again. She was really tight with Toya. Anyway, long story short, Candy and Todd were doing some stuff behind the scenes to help Apollo. Basically hiding vehicles or hiding a vehicle. There was an episode where one of Apollo's cars was in their garage, his motorcycle, all kinds of stuff like that. And Phaedra didn't know. I think she had gone over, it was an episode of Real Housewives. She'd gone over to Candy's house, and some of Apollo's stuff was at the house, and Phaedra didn't know it. And that's another thing that Candy was probably mad at, because she felt like Phaedra sent the feds to Candy's house, but the Real Housewives film crew was there and it was in an episode. So that really wasn't her fault, right? So there's just a lot of bad blood going back for a while. And Candy's still pissed. I guess Phaedra's still pissed, and it is what it is. But let's get into it, okay? It was just interesting to finally hear Candy talk about it.
The most talented, beautiful bartender you ever will see. Yeah, she's an amazing bartender.
And today, Candy, we have your favorite Candy on the Rocks. Beer has modeled Peach again.
That was my girl, Dominique. She's also a part of Candy and the Gang, which a lot of you guys remember our reality show. It will be coming back. Anyway.
Okay. I was just saying the need to.
Yes, but that's my girl. We'll be able to download. We're going to post that link. Obviously, I'm very big on social media as far as like I like to follow people. How long? It's been a year now. It's been a year? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I met Jay a year ago through social media. So far it's like now I feel like I've been knowing him.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Yeah, I feel like I've been knowing him even though we only known each other a year.
We family, child.
Yeah, we family now. Anyway, Jay has been saying for a while that he wants to come on Speak On It.
So I got some shit to say.
Okay, so you guys say this. And we're about to speak on it. Hey, I'm hoarse today.
Do it with me.
No, I'm so hoarse, so you had to take over because I can't do nothing today.
All right.
Okay, I've been partying hard.
Okay, Candy wants everyone to know she went to Renaissance. I saw it on Facebook.
Phaedra, a conversation.
I don't owe her shit, and I was okay. Well, what you want to hit first?
They feel like season and a lot of off-season stuff too.
A lot of off-season stuff too. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, what you want to hit first?
The people want
like
to know.
Phaedra, a conversation.
I don't owe her shit, and I would say that to anybody. Thing. Not a motherfucking thing. I don't owe her shit. She would never get shit from me.
Because like, she was like,
she and I don't.
Candy just immediately went in. Like she immediately went in. Let me fix this. My bad. Okay.
She was like, I don't understand.
She was the main one back in the day. It's like when she with you, she with you, and when she with you, when she not, she want to drag you. Yeah. Because before she was the main one saying that Phaedra should have got fired. When she went on, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, she was saying that. I didn't even say that, but she said that. So it's just like now all of a sudden you think I owe her a conversation for what?
She was saying the fans was robbed of that, and she was like, if you
and they ain't never gonna get it because no, the reason why I say it's not about the fans. I love the fans, but to me, when more than one thing. Not to speak too much on that.
Right.
But I mean, obviously everybody know the blatant lie that was told.
Yeah, right.
But a lot of people don't even, it's like y'all be forgetting or something. I don't forget, especially not in this situation.
Yeah.
People always be like, oh, it was somebody else made it up. It's blah, blah, blah. But y'all don't remember Portia sitting there in that thing and said, "No, you told me that Kandi told you out your own mouth that this happened."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, no, then she tried to say, no, somebody
Yeah,
else
somebody
told me
me.
that."
Right.
Yeah. Like, you can't defend yourselves against blatant liars or people who are so spiteful that will make up anything to tear you down and then hide. Because like during the time that the whole situation played out, we didn't even know she was involved.
Right. But that
And
was
if
her
it
thing.
wasn't
She was
for-
saying if you made it with Portia, and she's like, you and Portia have become friends again. She don't see why Phaedra.
I mean, like I said, Phaedra as an officer and an officer of the court, as a sworn in card carrying attorney, has no business. Hey, pretty wife, pretty life. Hey, HBB. Hey, everyone coming in. Thank you for joining us tonight. You know, as a officer of the court, you know, Phaedra can't be involved in any illegal shenanigans. And Kandi as her friend, I mean, I just think Phaedra had every right to be pissed at Kandi. Now, should she have potentially set Kandi up to look bad and accuse Kandi of a horrible rumor to make her look bad? No, she should never have done that. But I guess she was pissed. I mean, Phaedra was being looked at by the feds. Her husband was just in federal custody. You're my homegirl. I'm coming over to talk to you. And here's my husband's car, motorcycle, and other valuables in your garage. And I'm here to film. I don't know. Are you trying to set me up? You know what I mean? It may have just become a thing where what's going on here? Like, why is Apollo's stuff up in here? Why am I here filming and my husband, who is in federal custody and they're looking for all of his shit happens to be in your garage and we're here with a film crew? Like, I don't know that I would have been happy about that either. I didn't know you're, you know, quote unquote, like what was going on. And Peter spoke on that a couple of times over on Michelle, AT Alien. So I don't know. I just feel like it's unfortunate because these two were like part of my favorites. Like I really enjoyed Phaedra a lot, and I enjoyed the relationships that Phaedra had with a lot of people, like Kandi and Portia, and even when Phaedra and Nene got along really well. But when these two fell out, it really did change the dynamic. And for me, like I said, it really changed like my ability to really even follow, because like this season I just couldn't. It's just every year I try to watch and it just gets worse and worse. And just the fact that people are plotting against other people in such a horrible way is kind of crazy.
They don't get the same grace. But I mean, what do you mean?
It wasn't just that. People also forget the whole thing. Okay, first of all, those accusations, people want to bring those up every other year. I don't know if y'all know, people be like, oh, she must be true, or maybe it's some truth too, even though y'all seen it play out as a lie. Right? And we all know those type of accusations have totally stick with you for life and have totally ruined some people. Now, thank God that I was able to turn the situation around.
But I think those because people know you.
One, yeah, that I do believe a lot of people.
They know you don't drink, so
yeah, I believe a lot of people didn't believe it. But then also there are a lot of, I mean, over time, you know, the shit, it all came out in the end, and it was proven that she was lying. You know what I'm saying? Had Portia not said anything, right, I would have never known that she did it, and I would have never been able to defend myself against that. Yeah, it would have just been something that would have been forever. Kept going, and dragged my name, right, and my businesses. Yeah, and mind you, I have a Bedroom Kandi, which is an adult brand, and something like that definitely will ruin that. Yeah, right? Absolutely. So that's one thing. The other part about that, I think a lot of people forget. In the middle of the reunion that year, she was like, oh yeah, how's everything going with your restaurant? Now, people, which y'all don't know, or what I thought I explained back then, maybe some of y'all don't forget, my restaurant wasn't
and calling people. I remember you saying
yes, for some reason, like I had passed everything before the board, but my liquor license had not been signed off on, and we were supposed to be opening our restaurant, but for some reason it hadn't been signed off on. And when she did that, I knew that she had something to do with it, because she was cool with the person who had to sign off. Let's just say that.
I mean, look, people play dirty, and I guess it's one thing Atlanta Housewives, but it's another thing good old fashioned you crossed me. And like I said, I'm not justifying if Phaedra actually convinced a public official to slow walk Kandi's liquor license, so now it's having an effect on her business. Why, you know, I just think that was I think that was how the real friendship got damaged, was because Kandi's relationship, Kandi and her husband had what appeared to be a stronger relationship with Apollo and helping protect Apollo than actually the original friendship with Kandi and Phaedra. And I think Phaedra was salty and she was probably just like, fuck it. Like, maybe, I mean, who knows if she solicited that person to slow walk it, or that person knew what was going on and they're that good of friends with Phaedra and they were like, yeah, I'll put this at the bottom of the bottom of the pile.
The time.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so my whole thing was, it's one thing for you to try to tear me down on the show, right?
Yeah.
But then you also trying to
Outside the
affect
show, yeah.
my life and my business outside of the show.
Probably,
And that's when
yeah.
I was just like, you know what? That's dangerous. You get what I'm saying? And with that being said, I don't want to like, I can't with you because I can't, like, you will be pulling strings and doing everything you can to destroy me, even when it has nothing to do with the show.
Right.
Even when I'm not around you, I don't see you, I don't talk to you. So you know what? Let me just excuse myself and move. Like, I've never tried to, stop. Obviously, she's still on show.
She on
She's
Bravo
still on
now,
Bravo,
yeah.
right? So you do
You're
you.
welcome,
I do
dear.
me. If they wouldn't have you there, that's fine. I just don't want to be there. Like, I don't know why everybody has a problem with me saying that. I don't get it. I don't get it.
My
It
point
played
is-
out in front of y'all. Like, I don't get it. I don't know why people try to.
I mean, I think what people fail to remember is that these two actually really did have a real friendship outside of Bravo. And I think that it was definitely fractured. There were so many things that happened, and it's unfortunate that these two could not stay friends. But, even with Phaedra's part in it, even with, different relationships you'll see on Housewives, they'll start, they'll rekindle, they'll fall out, but it's always kind of like, okay, let's film, let's try to get things back on track, da 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 da. Because maybe some of the people really don't have solid relationships, there's not solid friendships, but Kandi and Phaedra actually socialized in the same circle and were actual friends. And this was a bad friend breakup. And honestly, if I had a best friend who her and her husband chose my husband, if my husband and I broke up, I definitely would be salty. Now, I'm not going to say I would do what Phaedra did. But I guess if I was vindictive, maybe I would. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in that position, but it is I don't know. I think Kandi, I don't want to say she should get over it. If she's pissed, she's pissed. And I felt like this was a better answer for me to like understand a little bit more about how mad she was, that Phaedra really, above and beyond the show, there was stuff going on behind the scenes that we really didn't know about, which was the liquor license and stuff like that. But girl, it's a mess, but I thought that this was really interesting. Let's listen to a little bit more.
It changed the story. I'll be seeing people change the story now and be like, nah, see, she really didn't. No, she really did. She really did. She really said those things. She really did claim that I said it out of my mouth first and then changed the story and said somebody else's story.
Somebody told her.
Like, it really happened. But everybody, for whatever reason, wants to act like I'm just supposed to be like, yeah, so let's talk.
What we talking about?
Yeah, exactly. And as far as me and Portia, it is taking a long time for us to get
like
to a
2
place.
or 3 years after that, if y'all like going back and forth. Yeah, it was a while.
It was taking a long time for us to get back to a place of being, being cool, whatever.
Co-workers.
So right. I mean, we had to continue to work with each other at the show. Right. So yeah, we worked through those things. But to me, it started with the admission of this wasn't right. This is what happened, and putting all the cards on the table.
If Portia apologized, Phaedra still ain't.
Yes, and people still don't understand. Thank you. At least somebody understand it.
But what was?
But even if she did apologize, it wouldn't make a difference because Portia wasn't really your homegirl like that. So you can go back to being coworkers with Portia because all it is a bag. It's working together on the Housewives. Kandi and Phaedra were actual friends.
See, that's why I was so confused, and I think that's why you and Portia got into it later. What was she apologizing for?
Well, I
For
mean,
her role in it.
Nah, I think. I mean, that's why it still took us a long time.
Right.
It still took us a long time to get on the same page because I felt like it was a lot clearer. But at the end of the day, for there to be any fault admitted, and like I said, if it wasn't for admitting, what we said or who said it, like we would have never gotten to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, at least that was a step to go forward. But the other one, she still be over here acting like she ain't did nothing.
Yeah.
Well, and that was Phaedra's opportunity to, which it did come out, I think, in that reunion, or it was the following year when that awkward moment of them going over to Kandi's house and Apollo's stuff was in the garage. Because Phaedra felt some type of way about that. And she said it. She's like, why is my husband's stuff in your garage and he's under federal investigation and I'm over there? Like, what's really going on? So that was just not a good look. And I mean, we all know that there have been housewives to go to prison for real. So, and one's getting ready to go soon. Another one, that woman from Utah. So, believe, if you are under some sort of federal investigation, these people are watching, just like they're watching people's YouTube channels, they're watching your social media, not just because, but if there's something going on and you owe the feds money or you owe somebody child support or somebody owes a settlement, I'm sure Cardi B has her investigators watching Tasha K, because that's how they try to recoup monies, right? When you owe. So I don't know. I think that it's unfortunate for these two. I think when Phaedra got caught out there lying like that, it was a bad look just from the standpoint of you are an attorney and what you accused her of was actually a crime. So that just wasn't a good look, even if it was like gossip and storyline, or if you were being vindictive on top of that. It just wasn't a good look from like an ethical standpoint, for you to be engaging that way and setting someone up to look bad and accusing them of a crime. So absolutely, that was a very bad look. But her opportunity to have that conversation with Kandi, before that happened, I think, Phaedra just always was a little bit passive aggressive when things got a certain way. Phaedra just would kind of clam up and retreat. And instead of really talking to Kandi about the situation and how hurt she was and how maybe she felt like her and Todd should never have gotten involved with Apollo and what he had going on, and the fact that he was under federal investigation, had just been arrested and all of those things. I don't know that she ever even talked to her about that. I mean, that I don't know. So it's obviously still a sore topic because you see how aggravated Kandi is at this moment.
I'm like, child, I ain't got time for that. No time. And I'm happy that she's on television. I'm happy that she's doing her thing. I just don't want to do it together.
I feel like since you've been on the show, was 14 years?
Mm-hmm.
You've given everything. You came on the show with the stuff with your mom, and then the stuff with your ex-fiance, and then the stuff with Tardy for the Party. Every season, you gave us something. Everybody, I feel like when it comes to this show in general, when they say, "Oh, she don't work for her check," because they love to say that. I feel like everybody they be wanting you to be rah, 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 all the time. Everybody don't have to do that. I feel like you've shown time and time again your role is like you just chill, you lay back, you get your money, you do your thing, you show what you need to show, and you turn up if necessary.
Right.
It ain't always necessary. Everybody need a voice of reason sometimes.
You can't do too much of that now, because then they're gonna say that you over here getting
Ooh. I was trying to search for my next thing I wanted to talk about real quick, and I don't know why it's doing this. It's so random these days.
I'm paid to say it.
Yeah.
They'll say that.
She ain't paying me nothing.
To be clear.
Oh, did he say she's not paying him nothing? Uh-oh.
Okay, we're starting out. They started out with I got to repeat this since it came at the top. I want y'all to be very clear. When they show that clip of me and Toya doing the after show, that's the same year that she did her interview on Speak On It. When she and I did that, they trying to play that.
Okay, we're not going to get into that point or that part. I guess maybe it was. Are they talking about Toya as in Latoya Forever? That whole controversy with her and Drew. I don't do too much. Okay, let me see if I can find this and see what you guys have to say about this. And I know it's getting late, but I have a couple things I want to say about it. So, let me see if I can find it. I got to go over to Instagram to find it. Okay. Okay. Oh, here it is. I was like, where do I find that? Okay. Let's see if I can find it. I thought this was crazy. Maybe some of you saw this today. Okay. Okay. All right, I might have to. All right, let me search. Okay. Okay. Let's just look at this real quick. So Tiffany Haddish is launching a dating show. Look, I was like, could this actually be real? Tiffany Haddish is launching a dating show featuring women who are dating homeless men. Everyone deserves to have someone supporting them. Tiffany Haddish is launching a dating show featuring women who are dating homeless men. Everyone deserves to have someone supporting them. Tiffany Haddish is creating a dating show about women dating homeless men. In a pre-strike interview with the Hollywood Reporter, Haddish shared uh, the profound significance the topic has on her life. I experienced homelessness myself and found that there was a stigma on it that I don't think should be there, the comedian said. While trying to break into the industry, Haddish faced difficulties that led her to sleep in her car as she worked her way through comedy performances to build her reputation. Despite her current success, Haddish earlier life was marked by adversity, including a period spent in foster care during her youth. Everyone deserves to have someone supporting them and caring for them, not necessarily carrying them all the way. Haddish added, it's really important for people to make sure that they know that's because it's really hard to be homeless. So many people are isolated and living on the streets. I mean, supporting and people who love you and care for you and resources is one thing. That's just my opinion. Through her company, She Ready Productions, Haddish developmental partnership with Hearst Media Production Group will give rise to two unscripted television projects to lead the rest to lead the rest log on to read the rest, log on to balleralert.com. Look, this is what I think about this. I think it's absolutely ridiculous and it's so unfortunate that large companies will put money behind something like this. First of all, why I just don't get it. like what she said here, while she was trying to break into the industry, Haddish faced difficulties that led her to sleep in her car while she worked her way through comedy performances. Never did it say while dating a man. Now, whether she was dating someone or not and sleeping over at a boyfriend's house, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, a man who is not financially stable has no business trying to be in a relationship with a woman who is. I'm sorry. If you are not financially stable, you are homeless and living in a shelter or on the streets. You have no business trying to get sex or have any type of relationship other than building partnerships and trying to find resources and trying to get your life together. The last thing a man needs is the stress and pressure of somebody who to date somebody. That doesn't even make any sense. I don't even understand why Tiffany like it's one thing if a guy is maybe not doing as well as another woman, as a woman that he's interested in, but for someone to be homeless, I think that is just more bad television. And I saw a video, I don't know if I still have it. I saw it earlier today. If I can pull it up, which I don't know if I will be able to or not, because I'm under a different I'm under this account versus Love Lies and Lace Fronts. But um this woman, this she was dating a guy and it of course went bad. It's like the doctor who lost her life. It's like so many of these stories that we hear that are so unfortunate about people who end up trying to be someone for someone and end up losing their life. Let me see if I can pull I think I'm going to see it, but let's see. Um I saw it this afternoon. It may not show up here. Uh is that it? No. Yes. Okay, let me show you guys this was really sad, okay? And allegedly this guy could have been homeless. And when I was watching this, all I could think about was Jasmine and Chris. I'm going to be honest. Even though this woman is a professional woman, so not quite, but girl, they damn near called him a hobo and all kinds of stuff. I mean, we see this type of story up and down the YouTube streets, and this lady lost her life. And we know that this happens far too often. And I just can't believe that Tiffany Haddish um, would stoop so low to try to create some sort of entertainment revolving around homelessness. Why don't you create a show trying to help homeless men get on their feet and try and get either education, training, certifications, or the medical help they need to get to be a viable potential mate for a woman who has worked hard to have a decent lifestyle. Why is it that women have to consider such foolishness? It's awful. I mean, it's like Tiffany Haddish should really be ashamed of herself. And if this type of thing came to fruition, honestly, I wouldn't even probably entertain any of her movies anymore. Or her I think it's just absolute crap that she would do something like that, because there's enough women who are um trying to build a bay and end up, their families are ending up planning funerals, and or people are looking at their bank accounts or their credits messed up. There was that lady Candy Poo like a couple weeks ago whose video went popular. I mean, every week there's like another dozen stories of some horrific situation that's happened to a woman because she was trying to not seem like she's too stuck up to give someone a chance who is struggling. It's ridiculous. Okay, let me show you guys this real quick and then I'm gonna let y'all go. I'll drop the link for this one too so you can watch the whole thing, but it's pretty sad. Um Let me drop the link for that. Okay. Um, let's see what I'm getting ready to show you.
It's a very calculated thing to come down the stairs while someone's sleeping and go in their room and kill them.
Tell me exactly what happened. I just got in from church and I think my wife is dead.
It was personal and repeated blows.
It appeared one of the primary objects that he attacked her with was a statue of Buddha.
I can only imagine what was going through her head because she was alive.
He went through great lengths to make sure that there was no blood.
Are you sure she's beyond help, sir?
The 911 call was very calm. He set up his alibi right away.
He's a psychopathic narcissist to me.
You didn't have a right to take her life. I hope that this haunts you until your last miserable day.
There was what we called an on.
Wasn't this awful?
I wish that America had the death penalty.
I miss her so much.
Love is not just an emotion, right? It's a choice that you make every single day to care for a person and be there for them and be in this with them.
She's not breathing.
Lauren Charles, a daughter, stepmother, and a friend who was found brutally murdered inside of her North Kensington home on a Sunday morning in March of 2021. The bedroom she was found in completely destroyed. Was it a robbery or a crime of passion?
There's a lot of hate in that crime scene, a lot of anger, a lot of hate.
This was a savage killing. The forensics and the crime scene seem to suggest she may have actually even been asleep when the beating began.
Everything in the house looks completely normal. The bedroom is completely just destroyed. The dresser drawers were pulled from the dresser and just completely dumped upside down and stacked on top of each other. The bed was actually lifted and put on its side up against the wall with blood, smeared on the bottom of the bed. Blood was everywhere. It was on the back of the door. It was all along the walls. You can see, bloody handprints all over the carpet in the bathroom.
Lauren Charles died at the hands of who those closest to her call a monster.
It appeared one of the primary objects that he attacked her with was a statue of Buddha. She was beaten about the head, trauma, broken nose, eye sockets, broken ribs, savage beating. And then ultimately she was suffocated by him by taking a pillowcase and shoving it down her throat. This was a brutal, brutal killing.
That brutal killing ending the bright life of a 40-year-old woman who loved ones say brought people together.
She never seemed to fear anything.
She was so good at loving everyone she encountered.
She's the smartest person I've ever known, bravest person I've ever known.
She was amazing. Bubbly, go-getter. She knew exactly what she wanted. And the love that she had for people.
Lauren grew up in New Orleans.
Lauren and I met in high school. The story goes that she didn't particularly care for me at the time. I had a lot of energy and was kind of all over the place.
From there, she went on to Johns Hopkins, where she studied public health and sociology.
We were basically together if not every weekend, at least 4 or 5 days a week, where we just talk, go out to lunch, go shopping together. We did basically almost everything together.
From there, Lauren went to school in New York and eventually law school in Oregon before arriving in DC.
Lauren and I met at the DOJ. We were both contractors there. She was my best friend.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't know why it's skipping.
She was my maid of honor.
Okay.
Love is not just an emotion, right?
So, okay, if this is going to keep skipping, we're going to have to. I wish that we could get to the part where they were just so at a certain point, the father is saying that he really just did not believe that he was going to be the best for her. And he was hoping that she would change her mind and not marry this guy. And turned out, I mean, he had no family, no friends. He started distancing her from his family. It was she found out before the marriage that the man that she was going to marry was probably homeless. Okay. And when she looked into the address that he gave her of his family home, it was a vacant parking lot. Okay. So it was kind of a mess, right? I just think that, it just reminded me of that when I just dropped the link so you guys can go watch it on your own, but it was a very compelling story. And unfortunately, stories like that really do exist. And it's like, why don't you set up a show for successful men trying to help homeless women or something like that? Like, I'm sorry. I'm thinking to myself, Tiffany Haddish, what is wrong with you? Like, is it because you've been so unlucky in love, you want to just play with people? Because I feel like that's just more trying to play in people's faces. And it's very kind of, I just think it's trashy. I think it's absolutely trashy. And that, women in general, whatever race you are very, we are vulnerable, right? And at the end of the day, thinking that you are going to develop some sort of show around trying to waste women's time, who some women are basically running into, their biological clocks and, wanting to have children and wanting to have serious relationships, why you think that this would be a good use of any woman's time to entertain. I just think it's absolutely just ridiculous. And and I saw this story earlier today and it just made me think of this with Tiffany Haddish that I'd seen early this morning when I woke up and I was like thoroughly disgusted. But anyway, that's it, guys. Um, so I hope we got all the way caught up. First and foremost, I wanted to get you guys caught up on what's going on with Miss Shirley, Mr. Steve, and Ernesto. And then talk a little bit of Housewives. I think they are still in the middle of the reunion, or the reunion is either it played out this weekend, maybe was the last episode, but I couldn't make it through Housewives again. I just could not. It was hard. After they went on that trip to Kenya, with Kenya, and Kenya was sick in the room. I don't know if something was wrong with Brooklyn or she was sick, and just all that nonsense. I was like, I just can't do this. Like, I just wish they would throw the whole cast away, and I mean all of it, and just start fresh and get some new people that we can meet. Because I mean, these women have been around. It's like damn Lisa Vanderpump and Kyle Richards and all of them. It's nice to have the familiar faces, but it's always nice when they start a new city. Like, we all got to know the people from Potomac and all of that. But after a while, it's like enough already. You know what I mean? And unless they're going to just ride Atlanta until they can't ride it anymore, they don't want to invest any money in, a new cast. I don't know, but I think it's awful. And I do, even though Kandi is very specific that she doesn't have a hand in managing what's happening, what's not happening. But when Kandi says she's not happy about something, it seems like they go out of their way to make sure Kandi is good, because they know Kandi is kind of, the bigger ticket out there on the show. And I think they want to make sure she's happy. So whether she gets involved in expressing herself about who she thinks wants to be there or not, like Nene every year would kind of sit down with Andy Cohen and say, well, I think this one should be here and that one should be here, and that this one should not. Kandi is very vocal about, I don't do that, but let someone try to come to the show that she's not interested in, and she's vocal about saying whether she wants that, I don't have to be here, So anyway, I like Kandi. I just don't like her on the show. I think the show is bad, and they need to do something before the whole franchise is just ruined, before it's just kind of like, oh yeah, remember Housewives? Wasn't that fun? It just needs to go. They just really need to get like a fresh new set of women and let us get to know them. You know, we didn't know Lisa Wu. We didn't know Phaedra very well. We didn't know Nene. We didn't know any of these people. Now these people are multi-millionaires, or they're doing very well for themselves, making over $1 million a year. They went from making like nothing coming on the show to now being some of the most highest paid people on TV. And it's time. It's just time. It does not. A man who is homeless doesn't even, a man who doesn't have money or a job doesn't need to think about a woman or sex, period. They need to focus on themselves. Okay? If you are not in a position to be a husband and father, do not try to get someone's cakes. You don't need to be up in somebody's. This is part of the problem out here right now. And we can talk about that another time. But yeah, it's a mess. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining me over here tonight. And we'll do this again soon. If not, what's tomorrow, Wednesday? If we don't do anything here tomorrow, by Thursday, I just need to kind of get some stuff to talk about. And if there's something that you would like for me to talk about, we can definitely do that. I do want to kind of update on what I know about what's going on with Carly Russell. And I would like to talk a little bit, Alissa Watts is still missing. Alissa Watts. I think they actually had a vigil for her tonight. She's the woman from North Carolina who has been missing. And actually they did have some search warrants out for her. Let me see if I can pull this up on Facebook. They did get some search warrants issued and went over to her boyfriend's house. They do suspect and feel like they are investigating a murder. They did find an empty shell casing in front of his home, but no other clues other than the fact that he was found a couple days after she went missing, maybe about 100 miles away from Charlotte, in the parking lot of the DMV, unresponsive. And they said that he had tried to commit suicide. Now, is he alive? Is he what did he do? There's no reports on his medical status, and why he's not telling police where she is and why he tried to off himself, basically. It's just a very sad story. It's almost going on a month now that she's been missing, and she went missing around the same weekend that Carly Russell did her shenanigans. And yes, this is still gone, and no one knows where she is. And they're hoping to find her. So let me see if I can find her. Let's see. So yeah, he was found in her vehicle, unresponsive. That's her 23 Mercedes. This guy is known to have a awful background, kidnapping, domestic violence. This is a woman who's a professional. She had her own company. I'm not sure what kind. I think it was she was some sort of social worker type, and wait just one second. And she owned her own company and doing well for herself, and was dealing with this guy who is a ex-felon, and she's been missing now for quite some time.
Reveal Allisha Watts' boyfriend, James Dunmore, is a person of interest in her disappearance, and investigators at this point are looking for evidence of murder. WRL's Chelsea Donovan explains these warrants also give us new details about how police found him.
Details are trickling in this investigation that is now 16 days old. Search warrants
And this was 2 weeks ago.
And incident reports from both Charlotte and Anson County show that James Dunmore tried to commit suicide before he was found by state troopers 2 days after Allisha Watts was last seen. And we're learning more about what Charlotte police officers found in his home. This incident report filed by Anson County Sheriff deputies on July 20th, 4 days after Allisha Watts disappeared, is shedding new light on the investigation. The report states 51-year-old James Dunmore does have a history of domestic violence and is considered a person of interest at this time. Officers told WRAL News when they found Dunmore inside Allisha Watts' SUV on July 18th that he told authorities he was taking a nap. Officers returned to the parking lot 3 hours later and found him unresponsive. This new search warrant obtained by WRAL states that Dunmore was inside the vehicle and a victim of an apparent suicide attempt. Dunmore and Watts were supposed to go to a comedy show on July 16th in Charlotte, but never showed. A search warrant states that cell phone records indicate Allisha's phone, Dunmore's phone, and her car were at Dunmore's residence around 3 p.m. on the 16th and were at that location until 6 a.m. on the 18th, the same day Dunmore was found in Allisha's home in Anson County. Days after Watts was reported missing, her family captured cell phone video of police officers in Charlotte searching his home. Virginia records show Dunmore has convictions for abduction, stalking, assault, and battery. The abduction charge from 2003 carried a maximum prison sentence of 5 years. Now, the search warrant states Charlotte police officers seized phones, clothing, computers, cameras, and swabs from James Dunmore's home. They also searched a 2007 Audi that police state was involved in this incident.
Chelsea Donovan reporting live in the studio. Chelsea, thanks.
All right.
Okay, guys. Yeah. So I just hope Tiffany Haddish thinks long and hard before she starts trying to set people up that could be a trigger, because unfortunately, sometimes, some people are triggered by successful women. I don't know what happened, what James did with Allisha, but hopefully, her family will get some news that will bring them some comfort, and hopefully she's still with us, but yeah, bad news, sad news. But yeah, Tiffany Haddish is messing around with something she should not be messing around with, unfortunately. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go, and I will see you guys in the morning over at Love Lies and Lacefronts, where we do reactions, reviews, and commentary on the YouTube channels you love to watch. Okay. And we'll get all the way caught up over there. And if there's something that you want me to react to over here, let me know down in the comments. And if you're new here, welcome. Make sure to subscribe. I don't think I put it on subscriber only tonight. Maybe I did. I think. If I didn't, well, my bad. But my chats are typically subscriber only. So make sure, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and notifications. So as soon as I go live or post another video, you'll be notified immediately. Okay? Guys, have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow over on Love Lies and Lacefronts. Bye.